father Dinesh, born in the year 1947 on the 26th of October. I am the third child of the family. We are 6 children. My parents are late Mr. Ausep and late Mrs. Anna. I am the third child of the family. I had my schooling at Karimannur in the diocese of Kodamangalam and in district of Idiki. When I was in class 3, I had a great desire to become an altar boy. I approached the fathers, but they said, "You are too small. You are not smart enough to be an altar boy." Then I decided one day I will become an altar boy and a missionary. From that time onwards, I prayed and prayed that I may become a missionary, and it was in the year 1954 that I met, or to say I was in class 8, received for the first time a letter, a postcard. I was really honored because in front of the whole classroom my name was called out. My school name was Sebastian, and I get the postcard. In that the content was, "Sebastian, there is someone to love you. Your own elder brother Kunyetan is here to tell you that God loves you." That is all the content of the postcard. With great joy I replied. Within 1 month again the reply came. All postcards content is more or less same. At the end of the year again I got the letter, "Do you like to become a missionary?" I said, "Of course I want to become, but I am not very good in studies." Then Kunyetan or Mr. P.C. Abraham told me, "Jesus loves you. He will give you enough intellect to study well." Then the correspondence continued in class 9. In class 10, meanwhile, I visited the office of the Mission League and had the papers of the Mission League. I was part of the Marian Sodality devotion and all the activities that are meant for the boys. But again, I was not very sure about my going to the mission. When I wrote the SSLC exam, my elder brother told me, "You are grown up." That was in 1963, just after the Indo-China war. So brother told me, in military they may take you, so you are not very bright in studies, so maybe good to join the army. I did not give a reply because my real desire was to become a missionary. Without telling anyone, I went first to a missionary congregation, MSFS, and asked the rector of my desire to join the congregation. The rector told, "It is too late. The class have already started. I could join the following year." I came back a bit disappointed. Again, I was waiting and praying without telling the parents about my desire to join a missionary congregation. Then came the telephone call from Mr. P.C. Abraham that I am coming with Father Yeshudas. Father Yeshudas was then the occasion promoter of our Indian Missionary Society. So they came home. It was a surprise that a missionary is coming for the first time home with Mr. P.C. Abraham, and the parents treated them well and told me to come to Palai to fill up the form. The great joy, on the following day itself, I went to Palai, filled up the form, did not know much English, but whatever I knew, I wrote. Then later on, I had to go for the medical checkup. Everything went on well. So within a week, I had to get ready to come to North. When I expressed my desire to my parents, my father told, "Son, you are not bright in studies. I am not very sure whether you will be able to complete your priestly studies. The similar things I heard from my own uncles and teachers. But my mother told, you go ahead. I am here to pray for you. Don't get disappointed with others say you can become a missionary. That was the assurance that I got from my mother, and I left my native place, Ernakulam, on the 22nd of June 1964. We were 4 boys. All of them came to the railway station and said goodbye, and we were 9 in the group. On the following year, when I reached Benares or Varanasi, I had to study Latin, which was very tough for me. I had to repeat the first year course. I repeated, and I had to cry in between because I failed in all the subjects. I cried and cried, but decided to go ahead, even if I had to become a brother, where I did not learn Latin or much of English. So at night, I prayed that I may become a missionary in the Indian Missionary Society. When I reached the novitiate, I was again asked to repeat the year. Again, the only solution was to cry and cried that I may pass the exams with good marks. That year I was supposed to go for holidays even. Then my superior general told me, Dinesh, if you are going home, take your textbooks, and on the way you can learn. At home you will have 1 week's holiday. After 4 years I was going with great desire, but having just 1 week at home pained me much. But I didn't tell anyone that I had to repeat the exams, and I came back, again continued my studies. My novitiate was just for 1 year. Father Ishwar Prasad was my novice master, and I was so happy during my 1 year of novitiate. In the year 1968, I made my first profession. With great enthusiasm, I started my philosophy studies, but it was difficult. Then there was an initiative from Father Ishwar Prasad to have village experience for the philosophers. Together with my companions, 3 of them, I went to Ayr. Altogether a typical village. From morning till evening, we spent the time in studies, the rest of the time in cooking, cleaning up, and meeting the people, and that was an enjoyable time. For that year, in a way, again I failed in the exams. I was told, since you went to the village, since you had your village experiences only, you could not study well, so you repeat the year again. Again I had my own hard time, but repeated the year and went ahead the studies and continued the studies in St. Joseph Regional Seminary, Allahabad. 2 years I was in Allahabad, and there I completed my philosophy. Then I was sent to South St. Joseph Ashram, Devarapura, Coorg for my regency. I was told, Joseph, for the first time, we started the program Regency in IMS. Someone told me, it is a hard time, you are going to lose your occasion, especially because of the companions there. But I was happy to go there. My own companion Prabhudas was there. For Satyaprakash was the superior of the house. That 1 year I spent at Coorg. Then I was asked where I could go to St. Joseph Regional Seminary, Mangalapura, Alway for theology. When my own companions were going to Pune for studies, I was told to go to Alway, where the regional language Malayalam is used, but I said okay, because that was understanding the cleverer people are sent to Pune and the ordinary ones, those who are not able to study well, are sent to other seminaries. I accepted the challenge. I went to Alway, had my theology, and to my own surprise, I was elected as the General Prefect of the seminary in 1975. That is an honor for the seminary. Before me, for Jayaraj became the General Prefect. After me, Subhash, Reuben, we all IMS members became the top level students or theologians at Alway. To tell you, I had my own good days in the pastoral ministry. Of course, I had to use the local language, Malayalam. I had to pick up Malayalam, and I did my diaconate ministry so well. Even today, people remember about my regency and about my diaconate ministry. Thank God, in 1975, on the 22nd of December, I was ordained a priest in my own parish by His Excellency Matthew Potramuri. Then, after the ordination, I was told to come to Christnagar, not knowing anything about the future appointment. As I came to Christnagar, straight I was taken to the director's room, telling that this is your office and you see the board, director of postulants. I told my superior, very sorry, I have no training. I am a newcomer. I was in South almost 5 years. I am not able to manage the language. Told me, whatever be, you are going to continue to be the director, and the appointment was given. In that year itself, there were 77 students. I had to manage, and I prayed, cried and prayed that I may be removed from the office. But the other fathers, the staff members, encouraged me to carry on the job as the director of the postulants. Next year, the number became 66. I was given an assistant, a co-worker for the Subhash, so the work became much easier. In that year, during the weekends, I used to go to the mission that is called Nandaganj in the district of Ghazipur. So I started my mission work almost when I was ordained, and from that time onwards I had a special taste for the mission. After 4 years of being director, thank God I was appointed as in charge of the same Nandaganj mission. 3 years I worked there. Then I was asked to come to the novitiate house to be the assistant to Jayaraj in the pastoral field and take care of the estate. Almost 20 hours I worked in that office, and I visited almost all the families around that area. I had to rectify number of marriages, give adult baptisms, rectify many other complications that were existing in the Catholic families, but I succeeded because I found evening hours as the free time where the workers could come back home and listen to me. So within 3 years, the number of parishioners became triple. But unfortunately, I had to get a transfer. That too, I was told I had to go to Fiji Islands. I said, okay. My parents were old and I was once away thinking about their own last days. I won't be there. But I said, I will go. So in 1987, I left for Fiji and worked for 5.5 years in Fiji as the parish priest of St. Michael's Church, Nandi. Then comes the last letter of General for Dilasa Dinesh. Now you have the experience of being abroad, being in the formation, you had to be the novice master. When I was in Fiji, I had a new experience of our own Indians there. Almost 52% of the people were Indians. They were taken there as workers to work in the sugarcane field. In the first shipment of men, no women were taken. There were about 500 men. They were given very low wages, just 50 cents. And they were told, if you earn money, you can go back, or else you have to remain lifelong in this area. And most of these recruits, the workers, were from our own country, like Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Orissa, Bengal and the Hindi belt. So poor people could not come back. The next shipment, there were 25% of the women. That means if there are 100 people going that side, 75 men and 25 women. The life became miserable. The moral life was so bad in that they went ahead. The third shipment again 50-50. That means 50 men, 50 women. Again, the life was difficult because they had to be there like slaves. Almost slaves, they are early morning to get up at the whims and fancies of the owner. They had to work, and I am told, I have even seen the marks, the whipping they received. Some of the elders even cried when they said about their early days in Fiji. So they had just enough food, enough things to manage, and they could not come back to our country with their broken Hindi. They managed because educated people were not taken to Fiji. So they wanted just the workers, that is all. So the poor wages, no land of their own. They had to work in the factories almost that many hours, just they had rest for meals. And when they had some more money, of course, we were invited, the members of the Indian Missionary Society, that was in 1969. So Father Animanand was the chosen one to go there to begin a mission among the Indian origin in Fiji. I worked there as the coordinator for the Hindi speaking people. We organized Sammelan, means the gatherings of all the Hindi speaking people once a year. We had grand programs, but it was not a great success because we are not able to give much help to the poor people financially. Of course, people expected financial help from missionaries, as they were missionaries from Ireland, Canada, and US. But we were loved by the people because we sacrificed that much for the people and we were with the people. So during my time as in charge of the mission, I worked so well among the Indians. The whole parish, Fijians or Indians, they all came to the airport to give farewell. They all literally cried. I still remember. Almost till the airport they came with tears. That much love they had for the Indians, mainly for the members of the Indian Missionary Society. And I came back to India in 1998, took up the post as Vice Provincial and as in charge of the students in Sardana, Meerut. The work was easy for me because I was already in formation. I have already received certain amount of formation for myself. I had to go to Pune, I had to go to Vellore and other places for refresher courses. So the formation went on in a much better way. Again, I was sent to Manila for a short period, 6 months. Then after 6 months, I had to come to Patna for Atma Darshan. That was the best time of formation, of self formation in my life. In the year I finished the Atma Darshan program, I was appointed to this IMS Dhyana Bhavan. Again, I did not know the language. I was not a charismatic. Again, I trusted in God and went ahead with the programs of the house, and I was superior for 9 years. The greatest achievement I can tell is I started a number of new ministries in terms of the devotion to Mother Mary. We had rallies, we had Akhanda Japamala, we had 1 month's Japamala. That way, number of programs were there to cultivate devotion to Mother Mary. And I had chances to go outside for preaching, and whenever I got chance to preach in the parishes, I made use of the time. Then in the year 2012, I was elected as the provincial. With much reluctancy, I accepted the post and remained in Karnal, that is in Haryana, for 4 years doing my job as the provincial. Now, at the end of the office, I was asked to come to South, again to Kerala, Cherupushpashram, Kutupuzha. I accepted the invitation of Father General, and I'll be going there shortly. I have already completed 40 years of priesthood. If you ask me in one word, how was your life as a priest, as a missionary? I say I was 100% a happy person. Wherever I was sent, I was fully satisfied. People ask me, which place is better? What kind of people are good? I said, all the people are good, provided I as a missionary become a good person. So I enjoyed my 40 years of priestly ministry as a member of the Indian Missionary Society, and I pray that this joy may be continued in the coming years. Whatever be my appointment, assignment, I wish to remain a happy person, and I wish to make others happy.